Hey guys, it's Dr. Jyoti Patel and welcome to my Facebook Live. Today I'm talking about how to boost your immune system naturally. Just a disclaimer, this is just for educational purposes only. If you have any medical problems that need acute attention, please contact your doctors. So a little bit about me, I practice internal medicine and pediatrics, and I'm also a board-certified integrative physician and functional practitioner. So my purpose today is to provide you with knowledge so that you can take back control of your health. So as doctors and scientists are working around the clock to find a cure, to find treatments, to find ways to develop a vaccine, what can we as individuals do to help this cause? What is our responsibility as a community to support ourselves? That's what I'm going to talk about today. Okay, so there are two main parts to that. One you've heard a lot about, which is prevention. We talk about washing our hands for 20 seconds. We talk about social distancing. We talk about sheltering in or quarantining if we're sick. We talk about cleaning down surfaces. We talk about covering our mouths when we cough, sneeze. We talk about wearing personal protective equipment, especially for health professionals when taking care of sick people. So we already know all that. So what's the second component? The second component is how we can support our immune systems. So, you know me, I like to educate. So first, in order to learn how to support the immune system, it's important to know how the immune system works, okay? So there's two parts to our immune system. First is the first line of defense. We call this innate immunity. The second is the second line of defense called the adaptive immunity. I know it sounds like a lot, but this is going to make sense in just a minute. So imagine your body is a fortress, okay? And you're protecting the people inside the fortress. You're going to have walls, you're going to have barriers, you're going to have moats, you're going to have alligators in those moats, right? Your body does the same thing. Your innate immunity is your skin protecting you from the outside. It's the lining of your nasal passageways, your airways, the lining of your gastrointestinal tract, your microbiome, the mucus that you make. The initial attack is done by the foot soldiers that are waiting for pathogens to come in and attacking them before they come in. So, how can you protect your innate immunity, which is the lining that's protecting your body? Things keeping the fortress protected. First of all, if you smoke, this is the time to quit. Okay, we know studies from China, places where people smoke heavily, this virus has an easy way in. So if you vape, if you smoke, cut it out. This is the time to quit. It increases your propensity for having a serious respiratory virus. Okay, clean out your nasal passageways. Keep things clear. You can use saline. You can gargle your throat with salt water. Keep your passageways clean to allow for the body's innate immunity to do its job. Next, your gastrointestinal tract plays a huge role. 70+% of your immune system comes from your gastrointestinal tract. Okay, so that lining of the gastrointestinal tract is protected by bacteria, good guys. We call this the microbiome. They protect us by creating a biofilm, keeping pathogens from getting inside our bodies. Now, what can we do to help support our microbiome? We can eat fiber, because fiber-rich foods feed the microbiome and help support that gastric lining and also our immune systems. So fresh fruits and vegetables, seeds and nuts, beans and legumes, whole grains, try to increase the fiber in your diet to feed that good bacteria that's fighting for us, okay? They're at the front lines keeping those pathogens out. Okay, what else can you do? There are certain foods like bone broth that are rich in glutamine. That helps support the gastrointestinal lining. Also foods rich in vitamin A, like leafy greens, yellow, orange, and red vegetables. They help support the gastric lining. Lastly, you've heard a lot about zinc. And zinc is really important, especially with the coronavirus. It helps our innate immunity and it helps our acquired immunity. So zinc is found in pumpkin seeds, sesame seeds, garbanzo beans, oysters. So increasing zinc in your diet can also help support your immune system in this way. Okay, so we talked about the innate immunity. That includes things like fever, that includes things like swelling and congestion and mucus. These are all ways to help us protect ourselves from viruses. So in order to support it, I don't always suppress fever. It's important to know it's happening and know that there may be a process going on, but suppressing fever might be shutting down that innate immunity. So be mindful not to do that too much. Try to do things that like cold showers or lukewarm baths to try to reduce the uncomfortable nature of fevers, but don't suppress the fever if you can help it. Also, mucus is a way for the body to get rid of the virus, so helping facilitate the movement of mucus, whether it's using essential oils like eucalyptus and peppermint, whether you use vaporizers, whether you use menthol to help move mucus, that's going to help. Stay hydrated. When you drink a lot of water, it helps the movement of mucus, it helps the lining, it helps that innate immunity do its job. So make sure you're drinking half your body weight in water every day, in ounces, right? So if you weigh, let's say 120 pounds, 60 ounces a day would be a good amount of water for you to drink. Okay, just remember, this is an interactive experience, so please don't hesitate to put any comments in or ask any questions. I love questions. Okay, so we talked about the innate immunity. The second line of defense, let's say the virus penetrates the lining of your respiratory tract and gets inside the body. Now, here comes your big guns. Here comes your soldiers, right? They're your lymphocytes. Your lymphocytes are there to help protect you against viruses. There are two kinds, B lymphocytes and T lymphocytes. The B lymphocytes make antibodies. Think of it as when we tag animals in the wild and we throw them back out. The B lymphocytes will tag the virus, figure out what it looks like, and then make posters and put them all over town. So that if that guy ever shows up again, all the lymphocytes know him. Okay, that's called an antibody. And B lymphocytes are making antibodies, which are posters, wanted posters of the virus as we speak. All right, so that's important. But the T lymphocytes are the ones that are actually going to come in and fight the bad guy, okay? Now, what are some of the things that can help support the T lymphocytes? Well, first of all, let me talk about the things that shut them down, okay? You're getting in the way of your T lymphocytes when you do these things. First, stress. When we go into fight or flight and we start stressing about getting sick, it actually shuts down our T lymphocytes from doing their job. So working on stress reduction is an important part of strengthening your immune system. And I know it's tough. How do you keep from thinking about what may happen? How do you keep from thinking about what may have happened in the past when you got sick before, or worrying about your loved ones? Well, again, there are so many practices that I recommend doing, one of which is meditation, and second is breath work. Third is staying mindful in your day, and I'll talk about that a little bit in a little bit. Second thing that gets in the way is poor sleep, okay? Your T lymphocytes are actually active during restorative sleep. So when you don't plan for 6 to 8 hours of good quality sleep, when you start doing maladaptive things like watching Netflix or TV or watching the news, and you don't get to sleep on time, when you eat late at night, when you increase your consumption of alcohol and sugar, and that keeps you from sleeping, that's affecting your T cell function. So you're getting in your own way. So what we recommend is to get good sleep hygiene. Try to get to bed on a certain time every night. Cut out food 3 hours before bed. Stop the alcohol, stop the sugar, stop the news. Do something pleasant. Start journaling, start reading, do some simple stretches and some breath work and yoga. Try to do things that are going to down-regulate that fight or flight response and allow your body to go into sleep where your lymphocytes are going to then fight off the virus, or at least be more vigilant, okay? Food is another place where we get in its way. When we eat inflammatory food, okay, when we eat garbage food, when we eat processed grains, when we eat highly refined food, sugar, when we eat junk food, when we eat things that are unhealthy, that are loaded with pesticides, chemicals, dyes, preservatives, things that are in the middle of the grocery store, those foods put more stress on the system, okay? Causes an increased amount of oxidative stress, which distracts your immune system from fighting the virus to figuring out what to do with all those chemicals you've just put in your body, okay? So when you eat garbage food, it suppresses the immune system, not because it has a direct effect, but it's redirecting resources to take care of the inflammation from the food away from treating the inflammation from the infection. I hope this makes sense. All right, so we talked about sleep, stress, nutrition, comorbid conditions. We know from the history, that people that are more susceptible to a severe case of corona infection are ones that have comorbid conditions: high blood pressure, heart disease, diabetes, obesity, chronic lung disease. So this is the time to take control of your other conditions. In the past, you may have said, I don't have enough time to address my high blood pressure, or to implement a diet plan or weight loss plan, or to take care of my cholesterol. But I'm telling you that this is the time, because we know that when you have comorbid conditions, you have a higher likelihood of having a severe case of this infection. So if it is controlling your blood sugar better, do that. If it's lowering your blood pressure by going for that walk every day and decreasing salt in your diet and doing some meditative processes to reduce your stress level, do that. If you know you've got to lose a few pounds, don't pile on the alcohol and the sugar now. This is the time to start making really good decisions about the food that you eat and the movement that you've decided to do every day. Okay? And I know these are tough things, but remember that you're doing this to support your immune system. Okay. All right, so what foods do I recommend that help support the immune system? So the innate immunity, interestingly enough, has some benefits when we increase certain foods, and so does the adaptive immunity. So I'm going to cover that now. First, we talked about vitamin C. Interestingly enough, vitamin C has been shown to increase interferon, which is one of the treatments that we're trying to figure out if it works, to treat this disease. So vitamin C increases interferon, which can help fight the virus, okay? So you get vitamin C in fresh fruits and vegetables, your citrus, your berries. So make sure you're getting at least 1 to 2 servings of fresh food a day, if not more. Also get your colorful vegetables in. So red, yellow, orange, purple, blue, all those vegetables have good amounts of vitamin C in it and vitamin A in it to help fight fight this virus. Second is leafy green vegetables. Have at least 3 cups of leafy green vegetables a day. You can make them into chips, you can make them into salad, you can put them in a smoothie, but make sure you're trying to get some dark leafy greens every day. It is loaded with vitamin A, fiber, iron, again, really important for the immune system. Next, we recommend glutathione and NAC as a good supplement because they're loaded in antioxidants, but guess what? You can actually get them in food. Foods like cruciferous vegetables are loaded in glutathione and NAC, a powerful antioxidant that helps our respiratory and our gastrointestinal tract fight off pathogens. So what are cruciferous vegetables? Cabbage, cauliflower, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, bok choy. So if you have those in your freezer or your fridge, make sure you're consuming that every day because that's also a really powerful antioxidant to help fight off this infection. I mentioned zinc a while ago. Remember that has a role in both innate and acquired immunity, helps protect the lining of the respiratory and gastrointestinal tract, but it also helps stimulate the production of white blood cells. So zinc is a really important component of immune boosting. You can get that in pumpkin seeds, sesame seeds, garbanzo beans, nuts, oysters. There's so many sources of it. Typically with supplementation, we're recommending anywhere from 15 to 25 milligrams, but with any supplement, please make sure your doctor is okay with it first. It's not a recommendation. It's just information. Okay, so reishi mushrooms, maitake mushrooms, oyster mushrooms. We know that these Asian mushrooms also help support the T cell function. So increasing those in your diet, if you like mushrooms, it's a great idea. Other antioxidants and anti-inflammatory agents, turmeric, green tea, resveratrol, all of these things have been really supportive. Another agent that we know helps with innate immunity is adaptogens. Astragalus, andrographis also help support innate immunity. So if you're into astragalus and andrographis, maybe that's something that can help you as well. All right, herbs. I forgot to mention herbs and spices. So besides turmeric, I like oregano, antiviral properties there. We like rosemary, thyme, so you can add those in. I also recommend garlic and onions. I've mentioned this before, but they're sulfur-based and they have antiviral properties, so you can't go wrong with that. Exercise. Moving on with food, we'll go on to exercise. Try to get at least 30 minutes to an hour of exercise every day. It increases circulation, it helps with mood, it helps with natural endorphins. So don't forget to get that exercise in. It doesn't matter what you do. You could do push-ups, sit-ups, jumping jacks, jump rope. You can get a hula hoop. You can go for a walk in the neighborhood. I know there's a lot of concern about leaving your home, but as long as you do it safely and you're not in 6 feet of someone else you don't know, that should be fine. I recommend sunshine, which increases vitamin D. So being outside definitely helps. You could be gardening in your backyard. You could be doing, some walking around the neighborhood or go down a hiking path if it's clear. Those are all good things to do. I mentioned sleep. Try to turn off your technology an hour before bed. Try to not eat 3 hours before. Cut out sugar and alcohol at night. Turn off the news. Try to do some journaling, reading, breath work, take a warm shower. Do some yoga practices if that's in your wheelhouse. Try to bring down that level of stress towards the evening. Make sure that you're also communicating with your loved ones. One of the things that happens during this time is everyone sort of hunkers down in fear and we disconnect. And we know from studies that social isolation is a leading cause of morbidity and mortality, especially in our elderly. They did a study and they found that social isolation was worse than smoking 15 cigarettes a day in terms of its effects on health. So just because you are staying away physically from people, be certain to make sure you make contact with people. You can call them, Skype them, FaceTime them. You can communicate with your loved ones that you live with, making sure you're having conversations, that you're not all connected to your technology, getting negative information, that you're actually talking about other things besides what's going on outside, cultivating hobbies and habits with other people, supporting others. We could do this virtually, so make sure you still connect. Okay, so that's everything that I have for supporting your immune system. Just to recap again, the things that get in the way are the bad habits that we have: stress, lack of sleep, poor nutrition. On the other side, the things that you can do to support your immune system is increasing your intake of certain foods or supplements that help boost the immune system, making time for meditation and breath work and stress reduction, making time for exercise, cultivating good sleep habits, forming some good ideas on how to reduce your comorbid conditions. And then most of all, if you are struggling with stress, I want you to know that this Thursday I'm starting a 8-week course in mindfulness. And the process of mindfulness is paying attention to this present moment, the one that you're in right now, the one that you're in your, hopefully in your living room or your home, where you are safe, where your loved ones are safe. And just bringing yourself back to this present moment on purpose, in a very specific way, with recognizing your breath without trying to control it, noticing where it lands and the rise and fall of your chest. Maybe noticing where your body makes contact with the chair. Maybe noticing the temperature in the room. Noticing the touch of your clothes on your body. Noticing any scents in the air or taste in your mouth. And if your mind wanders, know that that's normal, but observe it with curiosity and then bring it back to this present moment by connecting to your breath one more time. A lot of times I teach people breath work to help them deactivate the fight or flight process. And that one of the most famous breath techniques by Dr. Andrew Weil is 4-7-8. So I encourage you to try this technique when you find yourself getting into fight or flight. You take in a deep breath through your nose for a count of 4. You hold your breath for a count of 7. You open your mouth and you exhale out for a count of 8. So feel free to join me while I demonstrate. Take a deep breath in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold your breath. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Open your mouth. Exhale out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You can do it one more time. Take a deep breath in. 2, 3, 4. Hold your breath. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So breath work is a great way to not only bring down your fight or flight, but it stimulates the immune system. So it allows the immune system to do its job by taking its attention away from whatever you're thinking about that's causing it to get into fight or flight. It lowers cortisol levels, it lowers endorphin levels, it allows the body to do what it needs to do during times of rest. So thank you for joining me this morning. I hope this was helpful. Please don't hesitate to share this post with anyone who can benefit. And if you are not watching this live and you have questions for me, don't hesitate to put them in the comments and I will do my best to answer them. Have a great day.